Welcome back to Fabrication 101. We're back at SandHollow for the United by Bronco 2023 event. Super excited. It's a little cold and windy if you can't tell. Well, you probably can't tell it's cold, but you can probably tell it's windy. Anyway, we're getting ready to do the chain reaction trail. One of the tougher trails, I guess. I've never been on it, so we'll see. It sounds like fun. We got a bunch of cool rigs with us, some buggies, running on propane, some other craziness, and of course my diesel Bronco on this trail. So we'll hopefully have some good trail footage for you guys, and we'll see you on the trail.
Ready?
Alright, well, unfortunately we had a lot of technical issues with our camera equipment on this trip. And this video is actually going to be both the first 2 days combined. Some of it, the camera problems were my fault. I saved data the wrong way. But some of it was legit camera issues. We ended up, on the first day, we were supposed to do chain reaction. We had a small group of us, and it was decided that it was still pretty wet, and chain reaction was going to be very, very difficult to do. So we jumped in with this other group that was heading to do double semi, which is a pretty fun trail. Not super technical, not very difficult, but still pretty fun. And then we headed over to chain reaction after that. And here we have the escalator. No, the escalator's in Moab. This is the chute, one of the kind of the signature obstacles of SandHollow. It's fun, again, not super difficult. There's lots of videos of guys driving up this thing backwards, which I don't think I'll ever try. But anyway, right here we have Mr. Gordon Bailey driving his nice looking Bronco up this chute. We'll have one of the Bronco buggies that comes up behind us, and then we'll see our diesel Bronco tackle this one. Yes, that's a Jeep grill, and it also says Bronco on the side. And this is one of those buggies where the owner took all of the good parts out of an old beat-up Bronco and kind of made it into a buggy. So one of the fun things about United by Bronco is everybody's welcome at this event. We have a lot of cool, diverse rigs at this thing, and one of them includes my little 1968 pony with the Cummins 4BT in it. Again, it's got Dana 60s in the front and rear, 513 gears, 42-inch pit bull rockers, coilovers in the front. Right now it's links in the back, but that's going to change pretty soon. After we finished up here, we kind of played around on the chute for a little bit, and then we made it over to chain reaction, which proved to be way more difficult than we thought. I don't think anybody managed to drive the first couple of obstacles. In fact, I got some pretty good trail damage, trail rash on my fender flares. And eventually, when we were making it to what's supposed to be the first real tough obstacle, our trail leader ended up breaking his transmission case pretty much in half. He snapped the bell housing off the case of the transmission. And that was pretty much the end of the day for that. So anyway, here we are. This is on to the day 2 footage. This is the Front Range Trail, and this is kind of one of the first obstacles on the Front Range. It's pretty fun. We had a pretty big group of Broncos on this, doing this obstacle, where you kind of, if you have front dig on it, it makes it pretty easy, but it's still pretty fun. So we'll watch a couple of these guys roll through. Right back. So this part, I'm not sure if this was even part of the real trail chain reaction. It was kind of they called it a bonus loop. You can see a bunch of rigs that are in front of me. Basically, we just went up this little V-notch, which was pretty well undercut. You can see it kind of swallows that big 42-inch tire right up in there. And I just couldn't quite get enough bite to drive up and out of this. Took a couple of 2-3 shots at it. Eventually just kind of moved off to the right-hand side. And then we got Mr. Gordon Bailey helping with the spotting duties. He was kind of our trail leader, trail guide with a couple other people on his group for the day. Pretty great guy. If you've ever met him, thank you, Gordon, for some awesome spotting. beginning of the Fallen Trail, which is very quickly became one of my favorite trails out at Sand Hollow. A lot of very cool V notches and these climbs, kind of like this right here. I really like the idea that this trail is dedicated to members of the military who have fallen in the line of service and the line of duty. Very cool trail, very cool tribute to our military. Kind of see, unfortunately, we kind of again lost a lot of footage from this trail, so we don't have a lot of the really cool obstacles, but we do have some of them. But it's a pretty fun trail to do, and if you ever get the chance to get out to Sand Hollow, 10 out of 10, I would recommend doing the Fallen Trail. This very technical notch climb is another signature obstacle out at Sand Hollow. And it's pretty fun, especially if you've got a good spotter, somebody who knows what they're doing. It's not a terribly difficult obstacle to do. There is kind of a bit of a challenge. You got quite a ledge that you need to keep your front tire on as you climb up. And it took me a couple of tries to get the rear end of my Bronco over far enough so it didn't fall down into that notch. So you'll see me backing it out of here a couple of times. Then actually, I think I pull out completely and back out and up so that I can get my backside of the back end of my Bronco scooted over so it can climb that wall. At the very top of this obstacle, it's kind of hard to see from this angle. There is quite a drop off. It's got to be at least 5 feet at the time of this filming, and it might even be washed out a little bit more with all the weather that went through there after we were there. So if you can drive it through it, drive off the end, it goes out pretty simple. Pretty fun though. so this is day 1 outro, right? All right, that wraps up day 1, although it looks like it's the morning of day 3. We did double Sammy, and we tried to get into chain reaction. Chain reaction proved pretty difficult. Double Sammy was a fun trail, not super difficult, but pretty kind of challenging in some places. But anyway, got a couple little bit more beauty marks on the old Bronco here. She's working well. The only issue we're running into is I've got a new squeak coming from the engine. I think it's an idler pulley wearing itself out. Hopefully it makes it through the last day of this event. So anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Fabrication 101. We will see you guys next time. In the meantime, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and go wheel something. All right, so this is the day 2 outro that we forgot to do on the end of day 2. So it's the morning of day 3. What did we do yesterday? I forget. We were signed up to do the Fallen Trail. We ended up doing Front Range and then the Fallen, which was a lot of fun. I don't think I had to bypass any obstacles, did all the cool stuff. All the hard lines is a lot of fun. Pretty cool trail. The Fallen, especially since it's a tribute to fallen war heroes and veterans that have given the ultimate sacrifice for our country. So that was a really cool trail to go do. Anyway, we're signed up to do Papa Smurf, the trail, this morning. So that should be a lot of fun, I hope. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning into this episode of Fabrication 101. We'll see you guys in the next time. In the meantime, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and go wheel something.